So where do I start? Oh my gosh. There's like so many things to talk about, but okay. So basically like the most important things to me of definitely are um how we are having our rights taken away as women, with all of this anti-abortion, anti-reproductive justice thing going on in states like Georgia and Ohio and Alabama and things like that. I'm not actually even sure like what's going on really. I mean, I sat here and I'm thinking like, okay, so basically they're saying that and they're being the lawmakers in Congress, whether it's state or congressional, and they also being not women, because I have not heard of any women that saying rah rah rah, let's do these laws and these bills. So they're not women and they're not black, because I've seen, or people of color, because I've seen people of color saying no, 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 especially when it comes to like the other day I was watching one, I think I forget what state that was, but it was like he was like, no, not happening. And that yeah, that was a Georgia bill. So he was like, no, he didn't hear any there was no call to vote on it, and they just voted on it. So anyway, so yeah, so these are being made by Caucasian men who are of a baby boomer generation. Now here's the funny thing about all that. If the average age of baby boomers are in their 60s, 60 years ago, because we're almost in 2020, that's 20, and then 30, that, and then 40. So that means the 1960s and the 70s. So they were born during that revolution. Is that what I'm saying? I don't want to sound silly right now. So 60 years ago. So if they're like 70s, okay. So they were born like in the 50s, give or take, or even like the baby boomers. So basically, those are the people that were raised, and my math was off, but I had to fix it. Those were the people that were raised in the 60s, your Woodstocks, okay? And right before that, their elder brothers or sisters were the one in the 60s doing all these things with Martin Luther King and Malcolm X. So, am I kind of silly saying that these same individuals that were going rah, rah, rah with the church burnings that killed the four young girls, with Birmingham and Alabama, when you look across and they were like all these mean faces and all this stuff, but they looked like they were like in their 15 to 20s. Those are the ones now that are like of that generation now, that are happy to take away the rights of us women, of us people of color, of us blacks, of us LGBTQ, of us, like just everything. And they said, let's go back to the good old days, because what, the trumpets and all those other people are like in their 70s. So instead of just letting go and just living their lives, they're like, hey, we're the one that kind of just destroyed you, or tried to destroy you in the 60s, throwing, pipe bombs in your houses, doing Mississippi burning, where Rosewood, and etc. A whole bunch of, schools for boys, a whole bunch of destruction. And for some reason, maybe some of them went back to school, maybe some of them became like technical jobs, whatever the case is. Now we're in 2019 and they're 65 to maybe 80 years old, and they are trying, or close to 80, and they are still trying to hold on to that handle. And on top of that, their children, who are probably in the 50s, are like continuing this. Okay, let me explain this to you guys. We're not our mama's generation or our grandma's generation. And I'm not just talking as a black woman. I'm talking as when people who are LGBTQ, people who are disabled, people who are like people of color. Like, we're not that generation. We're not gonna sit and wait for you to hose us down with water. That's not gonna happen. We're not just going to let you make these laws. Like, you're going to make them because right now you are the one party country, and in some states, the one party state. But I want you to know that we've learned from you, and we're patient and persistent, and we're persevering, which means we will keep being in your face, rallying your face, putting our people to run for office. We're going to take your office, your office spaces. We're going to vote you out. And believe it or not, the mistake that you guys did, and I mean it, and I'm talking about the baby boomers who are so racist, who are so sexist, who are so discriminatory for LGBTQ, discriminatory for anyone that doesn't look like them. We're not all Caucasian, older males. And the reason why I don't add the women in there, because believe it or not, I know you don't believe it yet, but you have Stockholm Syndrome. And all you need is someone from your race to explain why you should not be the way you are. I can't do it, because you'll look at me and say, oh, yeah, right, Gertie. Like, you're a black woman trying to tell me how to. No, we're friends. I love you dearly. But I know that you're going to need someone from your area, from your race, your time, to explain to you why you are important, why you need to love other women like a sister, why you need to be our sister's keepers. They're going to have to tell you that. A white woman is going to have to be the one to tell another white woman why they should not listen to their racist white husband. Listen to me. We're women. We carry children. And for those of us that didn't carry children, we still menstruate. And for those of us who didn't menstruate, we carry these body parts. And we felt the feeling. You know, the feeling of shaving because you want to go on that date with your loved one. Sometimes it turned out good. Sometimes it's a disappointment. The feeling of everything. Filling out the application, going to school. The feeling of being a woman, a female. Even those who transitioned to a female, inside you felt like a female. Listen, no matter who your husband is, you are a woman. You feel like a woman. You love like a woman. You walk like a woman. You look in the mirror and you are a woman. So stop making these men who don't understand what it's like to put on a tampon or a Kotex, what it's like to feel the grumbling cramp of your belly, what it's like to not go on a date because you have your period, what it's like to be in school or at work and have your period that morning and wonder all day long if you're seeping through. What it's like to feel unworthy as a woman. You look at your body and you wonder if your breast is too big, if your breast is too small, if your stomach's too big, if your stomach's too small, if your ass is too big, if your ass is too small. Trust me, that's not what they're thinking. We are women. You can't betray us, other women. I don't care who your husband is. This abortion issue, these rights that they're taking away, our vaginas that they're all involved in our uterus, it's not their business. You felt the pain. I felt the pain. We lost our virginity, whether through love or rape or torture. We lost it, and only we as women knew what it felt like. I don't care what color you are. what race you are, every woman around the world, our bodies go through the same thing. And I'm just going to talk right now about women who have the maturity the ability to have kids. You were a mom, a wife or not, a partner or not, we all felt the same thing. And for those of you that transitioned into being a woman, and whether or not you had kids, you felt what a woman felt like. Let me tell you something, women. We can't betray each other. They're counting on you, Alabama, Mississippi, Tennessee, Midwest, Ohio, Louisiana, everything. They're counting on you to betray you. Look in the mirror. What do you see? And if you tell me you see a woman, whatever the race or ethnicity, then you can't just sit still. I don't care what state you're in. You need to find your local chapter or something. Your Planned Parenthoods, your NOWs, your Democratic Women's or your Women's Club, League of Women. You need to find something so you can help out. Rally, write letters, call, lobby. We are 53%, and I'm not sure on all the numbers, but last time I checked, and it's not about, we're more than men, but yeah, we are. You know what it felt like in school when you wanted to do math, and your teacher said, well, you should probably stick to writing. Or you told me that you wanted to be an engineer. And it said, you should be a nurse or a teacher. You know what it felt like when you trained somebody who was a guy, less education than you or just graduate, and they told you secretly how much they're making. And you're like, you either lied and said you were making it too, or you didn't say anything. Come on, women. If you're with me, this is a movement about women. Not black women, not white women, women. They're trying to dehumanize us. Because how dare we say we don't want to just be their slave. I said it. They're concubines. They're lusts. We dress sexy at work, we're a slut. We dress in a suit and then professional, then we're a butch or a bitch. Come on, women. You know who we are. Look in the mirror. I won't ever let them win. I don't care what law is there. We're going to keep fighting it. Are you with me? Find your local national organization of women. Find your local Planned Parenthood. Find your local League of Women Voters. And if you're party affiliated, this has nothing to do with party. This has to do with you, a woman. I'm counting on you. I'm devoting my whole effort into this. Because I didn't know we were going to come to this. And I won't let it. My freedom's at stake. I'm a black woman. My freedom is at stake. And so is yours. Here's to us, women.